Hello again, this is Mike and Matt. This video is going to be about the TV guides, the old TV guides that I recently acquired. I belong to the TV Guide Collecting Facebook group, and there was a person in North Carolina who mentioned that she was selling a bunch of old TV guides that she had, and it was an inexpensive purchase, so I went ahead and purchased a box of old TV guides. Now this box has, I think, 50. We won't do all 50 in one video, but I'm going to go ahead and open the box. And I don't know what editions these are. The only thing I know about these TV guides is that they are from the mid to late 70s. I haven't opened the box yet, so I guess you could consider this an unboxing video. Alright, I've never unboxed professionally, only in amateur ranks. So, alright, so I'm going to go ahead and continue to open this box. This is very tightly packaged. It was packaged very well. So I'm going to go ahead and continue opening this box. Let's see. Alright. Let me go over to this side. Alright. So how's your day going?
It's pretty good.
It's good. It's a nice Sunday afternoon. Catch that Ranger game yesterday? That was a tough one. Yeah. I think they need to get some more pitching in here.
Sure.
Alright, if you're just joining us, this is a box of TV guides that I recently acquired from a nice person in North Carolina who is on a TV guide collecting Facebook page that I belong to, and she decided that she would sell me the TV guides that I don't know if she just collected them also, but we have opened the box now, and there's some packing, and let me go through. I'm going to go ahead and just open up the first. See, these are packaged in bags, so there's that, and let's just go through the TV guides that are here. That smell of old house. Alright, so the first TV guide that we're going to look at is from the TV show Cannon with William Conrad. Cannon was a Quinn Martin production, as were shows like The FBI and The Invaders and Streets of San Francisco and Barnaby Jones. You might be interested to know that on the first episode of Barnaby Jones, William Shatner played the guest villain. William Shatner, of course, the noted actor from such shows that you might know like Star Trek and Boston Legal, and from Kingdom of the Spiders and other movies like that. Anyway, so this TV guide features William Conrad as Cannon on the cover. Another interesting thing we have here is the fact that this TV guide is advertising the Star Trek training manual, which I just had here, and I'll find it again. But in this TV guide, you can order if you want. And I have to be real careful for these, or they might fall apart. But you can order a copy of the Star Trek Starfleet Technical Manual from Starfleet Headquarters, United Federations of Planets. There's a little coupon there. You can fill that out, and you can order yourself a Star Trek Starfleet Training Manual. Also in this TV guide, you can find out when you can watch Roustabout with Elvis and Barbara Stanwyck. So there's that. And then you could also find out what time you can watch Dinah, the Dinah Shore Show. And Dinah, of course, Dinah Shore was a famous talk show hostess who was on she had her own show back in the 70s and early 80s. At one time, Dinah Shore was married to or was dating Burt Reynolds. So Dinah Shore, noted talk show host. Her show, I didn't even look to see when it was on. Oh, okay. WFMY TV. Another thing that I should have said at the very beginning was that this TV guide covers the week of February 21st through 27th, 1976. That was the year. That was the week where you could watch Dinah. That's the name of the show. Her guests this week: Don Adams, Edith Head, Joey Bishop, Robert Young. So you might say that this week Dinah gave head to her audience. So there's that. And then you could also find out, you could watch a movie called The Prize, not to be confused with the famous skiing movie from the 70s, but this one features...
What's it all about?
Thanks for asking. Hey Matt, have you heard of The Prize?
No, what's it all about?
Kidnap and spy shenanigans in Stockholm during Nobel Prize time. Filmed on location. 2 hours, starring Paul Newman and Edward G. Robinson. Alright. That was on Channel 9. Now this TV guide is from the city of Charlotte, North Carolina. So it has listings. People who collect TV guides are always interested in this sort of thing. It has listings for Charlotte, North Carolina, and some listings for other cities in the area. High Point, Durham, Winston-Salem, Columbia, South Carolina. So there's that TV guide. All right. So I won't spend too much time on one TV guide. Oh, but I must also point out that apparently Paul Sorvino had his own show back in 1976. This looks like back in the 70s and 80s they would have pilots. Just, I think everyone knows what a pilot episode is, but they would have like these one-off episode or shows, and this appears to be one from the producers of Streets of San Francisco. So this may very well have been a Quinn Martin production. It was called Burt D'Angelo Superstar, starring Paul Sorvino, noted actor. He was in a bunch of gangster movies. He's the father of Mira Sorvino. Paul Sorvino stars as Burt D'Angelo. He was New York's toughest, smartest cop, a superstar. Now he's on the San Francisco force and shaking up the town like an earthquake. So this was on at 10 p.m. Eastern time. That was probably not going to be something that was... I've not heard of that show, so it probably never really went to series, as they say. All right, Burt D'Angelo. Here's the little. In old TV guides, they would have the description of this show, which is probably hard to see, but it's right there.
What does it say?
Paul Sorvino. Thank you for the question.
Sure.
Paul Sorvino stars as tough, unorthodox San Francisco police detective Burt D'Angelo, a man who knows the rules, but is willing to break them to get his job done. And he does it well. His impressive record of arrests and convictions have earned him the nickname Superstar. In the opener, Burt's former partner strangles his wife to death in a dark alley, and a pusher who sees him do it threatens to turn him in. Guest starring Robert Pine as Larry Johnson, and Shelley Novak, Wynn Urban, and Ann Helm. Fun fact: Robert Pine would later be on the show Chips, and Robert Pine is also the father of noted actor Chris Pine, who, speaking of William Shatner, Chris Pine played Captain Kirk in the two Star Trek movies that came out about 10 or so years ago. Chris Pine's also played Major the guy from Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's boss slash occasional love interest, I guess. Colonel. What? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah. Trevor. Steve Trevor. That's the name of Wonder Woman's boss in Wonder Woman. So that's some fun stuff there. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next TV guide that we have. This one, now these are all individually wrapped. So while we're unwrapping TV guides,
I'll talk about Head Trip in Every Key. Good album. Jellyfish, Belly Button. Good album. Muzak. If you love music, you love Muzak.
I love music. And I love Muzak. The commenters, if there are any, will say, can we please see just more of the music stuff instead of the TV guide? The next TV guide is from the week of June 13th to the 19th, 1976. So just a few weeks after that previous one that I showed. This, on the cover, is the cast of, I believe that's Chico and the Man, yes. Freddie Prinze and Jack Albertson and Scatman Crothers. Scatman Crothers, you might remember from numerous roles. Yeah, The Shining. Freddie Prinze, of course, died early. He, the father of Freddie Prinze Jr. So this TV guide has such things as, the crossword puzzle hasn't been completed, or hasn't been done at all. That's fun. Let's see. Here's a Friday night movie on ABC called Time Travelers. I have not seen that. I think I've heard of it. It might have played on one of the Encore channels at some point. Here is, you might remember the show Mary Hartman, which was a daily comedic soap opera from Norman Lear. Norman Lear, of course, the creator of All in the Family, The Jeffersons, shows like One Day at a Time, Good Times. So Norman Lear produced Mary Hartman. Also, Mary Hartman produced the spin-off Fernwood Tonight, which starred Martin Mull and Fred Willard. And on Fernwood Tonight, it was basically a talk show parody, but every show was basically a talk show. So that was fun. And then here's an ad for Mallow Cups.
You know, speaking of Hartman,
Yes.
do you like the band America?
I do.
Well, they released their greatest hits album in, what was it? 1975. And look at that artwork. Isn't that artwork fantastic?
It is.
It shows the three members of the band. There's Dan Peake, Dewey, and
Huey?
I forget the third guy's name. But that is beautiful artwork, is it not?
It is.
It is.
I think
well,
that's cool.
Now if you look down at the, I think it's the bottom, hold on, the bottom right there. It says Hartman, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So with two N's.
Okay.
Okay. Now you actually probably know who did this artwork. It would be the famous graphic designer that we all know, Phil Hartman.
Really?
The famous actor from such films as Saturday Night Live,
Great film, that Saturday Night Live.
News Radio.
Another great film.
What was the third one? What was the third one?
He did a lot of. He was probably in some of those like SNL.
And The Simpsons.
And The Simpsons. I'm willing to bet, without looking it up, that he probably was in stuff like Coneheads, and maybe the It's Pat movie. Remember when they would take, like, every single SNL skit would be made into a movie?
Absolutely.
He was probably in some of those. I know for a fact he was in the Gong Show movie.
So now you know.
Yes.
Phil Hartman, nay Hartman,
That's right.
The famous graphic designer did the
The Gong Show movie,
art for America.
a film I have on Blu-ray. Phil Hartman was in that. So anyway, wouldn't you like to just have that guy's mustache? I don't know. I'm thinking of growing that mustache.
That's not Tom Selleck, is it?
It's not, but it looks like him. And remember when they had cigarette ads on the back of magazines? I do. I don't really miss it. I never smoked. Let's see here. Oh, it looks like this this TV guide has an article about Scatman Crothers, which makes sense that he's on the cover of this issue. The article is called "Silly Ba Bom Ba Boppity Bop." Such is the song of Benjamin Crothers, who has scattered his way to success after 50 years of anonymity. Well, that's cool. It's an article about him. I guess it talks about his musical career before he got into acting. Another interesting thing about these old TV guides is that there were one-page articles that were called Close Up. First written by a guy named Cleveland Amory, and then later on they got a new person to write the reviews, and they were all like one-page reviews of a particular TV show, this one being The Bionic Woman. I think the name of the guy who took over for Cleveland Amory was Robert McKenzie. I would have to look at a different TV guide to verify that, but for now, we'll just say that Horton Hears a Who, that was on, the animated special Horton Hears a Who was on at 8 p.m. on your CBS affiliate in North Carolina and all around the country, of course. Let's see here. Before I put this one away, let me show you that there was...
Speaking of New Jersey,
Yes.
do you know a musician whose name was Bruce Springsteen? Have you heard of him?
I've heard of Bruce.
Yes.
I've heard of Bruce.
Bruce as well. Brees.
Bruce.
He was the boss. Brees
Yes,
the boss.
Yeah.
So here's a bootleg of The Boss Was Born
Oh, cool.
with a rather strange album cover, but also a picture disc. Oh, that's the
Nice.
wrong side, but there you have it. There are the track names.
track.
The Boss Was Born, and there's the boss himself
Oh, that's
playing
cool.
Glitter.
Wouldn't it be funny if instead of a picture of him, there was like Buddy Epson?
That would be fantastic. There you have it.
Thank
Boy
you for
from
that.
New Jersey.
Thank you for that.
Like myself,
Where did you get that?
unfortunately. So I was at a furniture.
Okay,
like
so
a
the rest
secondhand
you can also find
furniture store.
Oh, okay. Secondhand furniture store, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had like a little tiny stack of records, and I grabbed a handful of them. Look, this was priced $40. You see
Just
that?
this piece of
$40 for
plastic?
this thing.
Oh, the whole thing. Okay.
I said, "Oh, I'm not going to pay that." So I left it there. I brought my other stack of records up to the front. He said, "How many you got?" I was like, "Give me a sec." So I ran to get the other one. I got $7. Yeah.
Did you sell it to you for $7?
I got all of them for $7.
Nice, awesome, cool. It's good to have a Bruce Springsteen album for just $7.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yes, yes. All right. So, let's see. One more thing that I can point out in this issue of TV Guide is the fact that there was. I just saw something. Oh yes. New show called Good Heavens. Everyone counts their blessing as Carl Reiner brings his heavenly gift of love and laughter down to earth.
Oh wow.
Loretta Swit from MASH guest stars. Good Heavens apparently was a. This sounds like another pilot episode. So I think how it goes in Hollywood, and maybe even still today, they make pilot episodes and they try to sell these shows to networks in hopes that they'll get picked up and run for a lengthy amount of time. So this was one such pilot. Let me see if I can find the actual description of the show for you. Let's see. Good Heavens. A recently widowed mother, played by Loretta Swit, who helps a stranger complete an important telephone call, is rewarded for her kindness when Mr. Angel, played by Carl Reiner, grants her wish for more excitement in her life. It also featured Clu Gulager, Ron Masak, Michael Pataki. So, yeah. All right. There is good heavens. I also saw an ad. Oh, this has been cut out. Okay, well, I was going to show
that's
it.
unfortunate.
Yeah, I was going to show it. There was an ad for an airing of The Wizard of Oz, but that has been cut out for some reason. One more interesting thing in this issue is you could have watched the movie Countdown on March 14th at 5 o'clock, and the movie Countdown was directed by, I believe that was a Robert Altman early film with James Caan, Robert Duvall, an early appearance by Ted Knight, who was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I have that movie on VHS, one of the old Warner home video clamshells, and it turned up on Turner Classic Movies once, and I recorded that. So, all right. Well, that does it for the first of these Show Us Your Old TV Guides, Mike, episodes. So, I know I just showed two, but I've got a lot to say, and Matt has lots of records by Bryce Springsteen to show. Although I can't, I can't overlook the fact that there's an ad for the Robert Blake Elliott Gould movie Busting, which apparently aired on CBS on March 19th. Undercover vice cops out to rip the lid off the dirtiest racket in town. First time on TV. Busting, starring the great Elliott Gould and Robert Blake, preceded by an episode of the comedy variety series Flip, with Flip Wilson this week, with guest stars Roy Rogers and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That is exactly what you would expect on a 70s variety show, just an odd pairing or mismatch of celebrities. So they probably did a skit together, I'm guessing one where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar probably was on a horse. That sounds like something that you would have seen in a 70s variety show.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to round this episode, this little episode of this thing up, this week on Barnaby Jones, Barnaby adopts a jaunty pose as the brother of an eccentric millionaire after a freak auto accident convinces the old tycoon that he is marked for murder. Denver Pyle guest starred on this episode of Barnaby Jones. It wasn't a repeat, so I wonder if there's an ad for that. Doesn't look like there's an ad for that episode. Oh well. Alright, well that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching.
Did I do it? Mm-hmm. Oh.